Mic check, mic check. Let's see. There we go. I think I'm good now. Cool. What's up? What's up, everybody? Man, man. I miss doing this. I've been off for a couple days, taking care of some other stuff, getting all of the background work prepared for what really matters. So that's actually something I wanted to come and discuss today. Um, today, let me back up. What have I done so far? Today, my family and I have went to the gym. Um, they had fighting classes. I didn't really fight today. Yesterday, I had my first um, 10 round of BJJ, so Brazilian Jiu Jitsu, and I made it through about four after doing kickboxing. And I want to tell you all right now, if you've ever watched people do BJJ and thought like, ah, that looks easy enough, or you've been watching fighting on TV and was like, I don't get it. Hey, look, it's it's a beast. It's a beast. I got rolled up and tossed around. Um, it was a great experience, great learning experience, very humbling, for sure. But I learned that it's a lot to it, and it really puts in perspective how much you think you know versus what you really know, and how tough you think you are versus how tough you really are. Um, Anybody can get it. It's one of those things where once you jump in that ring, once you start to roll with somebody, and whether they've been in there for a month, 2 months, a year, if it's day one for you, get ready to get worked. You know what I mean? I found that out the hard way by jumping in there. And so I highly recommend it though. Like it is fun, very fun. Um, if you're somebody that loves to learn, it's definitely going to give you a learning curve, and you're going to sweat a lot. So if you're somebody who want to get active, you want to get fit, everybody I see now, like everybody's working out a lot, which I'm super proud of, and I love the direction that it's going. But what I tell people is, if you really want to get active, if you really want to get fit, don't just go to the gym to say I go to the gym. You know, you can waste a lot of time. You can not be as fit as you could be if you do the right things. But more importantly, you won't be able to be as consistent if it's not something that you enjoy doing. Find something that you enjoy doing, that's active, and then do what it takes to get better at it. For instance, I have no interest in competing. I'm not looking at going to Brazilian Jiu Jitsu tournaments to be a part of it. I'm not looking at getting into boxing tournaments. I'm not looking at getting into kickboxing or MMA. That's not my lane, right? But being active, being fit, teaching my body good habits, teaching my mind good habits, being able to be present, being able to live longer, teaching my kids, that you have to earn your right to win. There's no you were here, so you get a reward. You know what I mean? They have to go out there and work. There's no, oh, you're small, you're a girl, so we're going to take it easy on you. Not in the gym. Not in the gym. Like you're working, right? So I always tell people, like, find something that you enjoy doing that's active, and then do what it takes to get better at it. Um, and through that, we've begun to learn how to discipline our schedule, how to discipline our mind, how to show up for ourselves. And a lot of stuff that we would normally do, like just randomly go out to some place to have fun. You know what I mean? Um, that we can't even really remember afterwards. Just eating foods that were hard on our body and really didn't give us anything like energy, and if anything, took away from our bodies. Like we don't make those choices anymore, and it's pretty easy because we know the next day we have to go to the gym, and we don't want to feel horrible when we get in there. So you start to do the things that help you be better at the active thing that you're doing. So if it's playing tennis, playing basketball, if it's swimming, if you're somebody that don't know how to swim and you want to get fit, summer is coming up. Everybody's talking about going to the beach. Go learn how to swim. It's hot enough now. Places with indoor pools are opening up. Go to the gym or go someplace to learn how to swim and then get better at it. Learn how to stay in the water longer. Learn how to tread water longer. This is going to take your cardio. It's going to take full body workout, and do that. Else, you're going to go to the gym, and this does not apply to everybody, but you'll go to the gym. Um, sorry. You'll go to the gym, and what most people do is they'll go, and it's like a New Year resolution, and you'll work out for a month or two, maybe even three, but then you're out of it because the gym gets boring. What am I working towards? What am I actually doing all of these workouts to do, right? And before you know it, you're out of it. But if you find that thing that keeps you active because you enjoy it, you find that thing that you want to improve at, you want to get better at, you'll find yourself actually getting fit and enjoying the process. That'll keep you around longer. Um, so this isn't really a fitness podcast that I'm creating. The heart and the root of this podcast is what really matters. And so when I'm talking about going to the gym, when I'm talking about fitness, it's because for me, one of those things that matters is being disciplined, being consistent, showing up for myself, being honest with myself. Hey, I want to be fit. Sounds great. But if you don't do the work that it takes to be fit, it's just words. And you're saying it because it sounds good, but you're not really being honest with yourself because you're not honoring it and actually doing what it takes to be fit. So yeah, I'm not looking at being Roy Jones Jr. I'm not looking at doing any of that. I love watching those guys, but I go to the gym and I work out because I want to be fit because it matters to me. Living longer matters to me. Living better, actually being able to walk miles and run miles without feeling like I'm dying matters to me, and it shows me my progress towards a healthier lifestyle, which goes to my ultimate goal of living long enough to see my children's children, and to actually do what it takes to build a life for them in the future, that even if I'm not around to see it way afterwards, I know that in this lifetime, while I am here, I did everything I could to build that life for them. But it takes being fit. It takes being healthy. So if you're not somebody who's already doing what it takes to live longer and live better, um, don't try to eat the elephant in one bite. Is my ultimate recommendation. The best way to eat an elephant is one bite at a time. Start with small habits. Take one bad thing that you eat on a regular. If you eat Burger King, or I love Burger King, yeah, I'm gonna say it. So In and Out has taken Burger King spot for me, but Burger King was hands down my favorite spot to my favorite fast food spot. It was my favorite burger. Um, and you can drop in the chat if you think that's disgusting. If you think I'm off off the wall with it, let me know. I think I heard something about Windsor's Burger King was on fire or burnt up back at home. So hopefully it's not, because after football games, and I was in the band after all of that, Burger King was my go-to spot. And even once I got in the military, it was still my go-to spot. I didn't know about Chick-fil-A and all of that until I went to Elizabeth City State. And even then, I mean, I would go on, I think it was like Tuesdays because you would get discounts for being a college student. And so you get like a $2 chicken sandwich or something like that. So I smoked those. But ultimately, I didn't really do a lot of fast food besides like Burger King. And Burger King was my go-to spot. That broiled, char broiled burger, that char broiled burger. That burger tastes like it was cooked on the grill with some coal, and that's what I like. That to me is the staple of Burger King, right? But I knew I had to get out of eating Burger King burgers all the time if I wanted to have a better lifestyle. So I cut it out one time out the week, and I have it twice. Then I cut it out one more time after a few months. Now I'm having it once a month, or once every so often. Like eventually, now I don't even know the last time I've been to Burger King. In and Out took a spot, but I don't even. About a month ago, I went In and Out. But yeah, In and Out is good to me, man. And so, but I know if I want to live a better lifestyle, I take it out. Start with one thing, right? That is a bad habit. You know what that thing is. You don't have to go to a nutritionist, a dietitianary, or any of those enthusiasts who are experts and can definitely give you some good direction on how to eat well. You don't have to go to all of them to know what you're doing wrong. You know, you know, you know. Okay, you know. And I say that because I can't tell you how many people come and say, "Oh, I don't know how to lose weight. I don't know how to da da da." You know, you're just choosing not to, and you're hoping somebody will give you a magic answer that'll say, "Yeah, you can eat all the Burger King you want, and you'll be perfectly fine." You can't outwork a bad diet. If you have a bad diet, good luck. You know what it is, though. I promise you, you do. If you look deep enough, you'll find it. But ultimately, again, the whole point of this podcast is what really matters, and that's actually the title of it. Um, as I was just in the gym working, not just today, it was a few days ago, actually a couple weeks ago. Um, I was just thinking, like, why do we do this? Like, have you ever just stopped and looked around and asked yourself, like, what's the what's the point of all of this? Like I go to work, I come home, I deal with kids, and I just ask myself, like, what's the point? I'm gonna say the unpopular opinion. I can completely understand parents who be like, not today. I can completely understand parents that go, I don't know if I want to be a parent no more. I get it. I understand people who go to work and go, I don't know if I want this job no more. I understand people who are married, who are in relationships that go, I don't know if I want this relationship no more. I get it. I'm not saying that that's my story. I'm saying I understand it though. It's a lot. It's a lot. And on top of it, you have your own self to worry about. You have your own stuff to worry about that you want to achieve. You're seeing all of this stuff on social media where everybody's flying out and they're eating a million whoppers a day. And you see all of these contests where they're just giving away money. I'm like, yo, I've lived in Bertie. Where was Mr. Beast when I was in Bertie? If you got all these millions and millions of dollars, you are right down the road. Drop a couple grand, you know what I mean? It was right there. Some days you watch that stuff and you go, like, why me? One, but also, what's the point of all of this, man? It seems like it's the rat race. I was actually just talking to my neighbor who was a Marine, and I was telling him how when I was in BJJ, everybody in there is so far ahead of me, like so far ahead of me, right? And when I say I got rolled up and rolled around and bottled up a million times, I'm not I'm not under exaggerating or over exaggerating. It was bad, right? I wish. I'm gonna record some of this stuff and then I'm gonna share it with y'all. And I have to do it in the beginning, so it'll be soon. But I was sharing with them, I was like, one of the things that they were telling me to improve is it was like, hey, you're really strong, but what happens is you're getting put in an uncomfortable position and you're working hard to get out of it, but you really can't outwork some of these positions the way you're trying to, and you're killing your energy. And once you kill your energy, then I pretty much get to have my way. It's not that you don't know how to get out of some of this stuff. You just have to learn it and then drill it more and more. But you're going to get somebody who knows what you're trying to do. And most people you're going against are going to know what you're trying to do. And so I was like, okay, how do I solve this? And they was like, you have to drill it anyway. And I was like, okay. So if I drill it anyway and you know what I'm going to do, then what's the point? You're just going to stop me. And they was like, yeah, you're right. But eventually you're going to get better. And you're going to learn other ways to get out of some of these same situations. And you're going to start getting more comfortable with being uncomfortable. And then you're going to meet somebody who's higher than you again. And you're going to go through the same thing. I was like, yo, this sounds like a rat race. It sounds like I'm going to get better just to be at the bottom of the thing again, like the worst in the room. And then I'm going to get better. And I'm going to be the best in the room. And then you're going to be the worst in the room again. And it's like, what's the point of constantly going through this rat race over and over and over again? And that's what I want to talk about. Like, I don't want to sound like I'm somebody that have the answers, because I don't. I'm not somebody who can sit in front of you and say, I figured out BJJ. No, I haven't. And so I want to bring in people who know much more than I do about this stuff and find out what their experience is like in it. Like I know people who are black belts and multiple degree black belts now. And I love to have a conversation with them, and for us to have that conversation with them to learn, like, hey, when you were the white belt in the room and everybody in there was better than you, what was going through your mind? And I'm willing to bet that they were actually thinking a lot of what we think when we're the newbies in spaces and we're the worst in there. The people that start brand new jobs and they walk in and everybody look like total strangers, and it feels like everybody's eyes are on you. When I went to the military, I'm watching people on the track who were, stars in their schools and running miles, and I hadn't done that. And so when I got on the track, it was brand new to me, and I watched them run laps and laps and laps, and I was the worst in the room. It was a lot. It was intimidating. I was thinking, like, can I actually do this? And eventually after a few weeks, I was running with those guys. I don't have all the answers, but I do know from my experience, if you don't give up and you stay consistent, you'll get better. It's not saying you're going to be the best in the room, because I'm not the best runner out of the group that I was running in. I never became the star athlete, but what I did achieve was I graduated basic training and never failed a single PT test in any category. I never got below a 90. I never was one of the people who couldn't deploy because I wasn't fit. I made sure that if I'm not in the front of the line, I'm somewhere in the middle. I'm never in the back, and to me, what really mattered was I have to be successful at this military thing because my family is dependent on it. What matters to me more than being in the front of the line, and you can apply this in any effect. Tell me, where does this apply in your life? It didn't matter to me to be in the front of any line if at the expense of it, I have to lose my family. If at the expense of it, I got to break my leg. So I got to spend nights and nights away from my family in order to be a great runner. That I wasn't interested in that. That's not my story. That wasn't my journey, and it never will be. But I knew that in order for me to be successful at what really did matter, meaning how to be a great father, I can't quit because things are hard. I can't quit because I can't run as fast as the people in front of me, but I also know I won't be able to outwork these guys in that particular area because I got other responsibilities. So I show up for what matters. I believe social media shows us a lot of things that it matters to some people, but not to most. I believe social media, I believe from taking in all of the stuff that the news is telling us, there's so many influences that tries to force on us that things matter that may not to everybody, not to everybody. For instance, I was on the bases that were attacked, not while I was there, of course, because I've been out the military for about 2 years now, but I remember being there. The first thing I did when I heard that these things were going on is I started making phone calls to some of my old troops and some of my old colleagues, making sure that people were safe. That mattered to me. And the only thing that I had in my control was to make sure that the people that I cared about and that was there with me and that still have people out there in the field, that they were good, that they were okay. Right? But there's so much on social media that I come across that has nothing to do with me. And I know it probably sounds crazy because social media has got to a place where it's trying to convince us that everything is supposed to matter. It doesn't. And it does not have to. And the more you feel like, I read a book called oh my God, what's the name of the book? I'm gonna get the name of the book, and then I'm gonna post it up here. I'm gonna put it in the comments. But essentially, it's saying like if you care about everything, if you give a f about everything, then you really aren't taking care of anything, and you really can't say you give a fuck about anything because you're trying to care about everything and you can't. That's the reality. The reality is everything can't fucking matter. And if it do, then nothing does. Because what are you actually giving your attention to? You can't give your attention to everything. You can't give your time to everything. You can't give your energy or everyone. I love everybody. And I've even said it in like other podcasts. I love everybody, but not everybody's destiny and everybody's future matter to me. I'm sorry. If it was up to me, everybody would have long lives and would be completely fit and would be focusing on developing and building families and all of this beautiful stuff, right? But here's the truth. I can't control that. And because I can't control that, if I tried my best to make it matter to me all the time, every day, I would fail my family. I would fail the people that matter to me. I would fail the people that I serve. I would fail the people who I want to develop this podcast for. I would fail y'all because then everything and everybody would be on my mind and it would be draining. I've experienced it. And when you watch politics, oftentimes you've experienced it too, where it feels like, what is the world coming to? Like, what is all of this that's happening? You're caring about things that are so far out of your control, and all they're doing is just getting credits off of your attention. This podcast is really meant for us who have things that matter to us in our lives. And we want to figure out, one, what those things are. Two, what shouldn't I care about? What really doesn't matter? And then three, how can we take care of the things that do matter? Simple. That's really all this podcast is going to be about. And then my role is to facilitate that process. If you're somebody who wants to own a home, if you're somebody who want to get into politics, this is not a political. This is not a political podcast. I'm not going to try to be politically correct or none of that good stuff. This is going to be an honest podcast built for us. who want to be alive and well. And there's nothing wrong with that. I want to be successful. I want to be alive. I want to be present. Um, there's so much that I got to learn. There's so much. And just like when I was in my Brazilian jiu-jitsu class, there's so much that I have to learn. And I learned through being humbled and tossed over and over again that this is just the beginning. And if you can't get through the beginning, if you can't trust the process, if you can't trust the people who are in this process with you to help develop you, you're not going to be successful. You may, but it's going to be a very, very, very long journey. And your chances of being successful are significantly less than if you actually trust the people who care about you, who understand you, feeling like you're the only one who understands this situation that you're in. Let me be somebody, if you haven't heard it today, to tell you you're not. You're not. You're not the only one who's experienced it. Maybe the exact way that you're experiencing it, yes, you're the only one that will ever experience it that way. But some of us know what it feels like to not have. Some of us know what it feels like to have horrible days. Some of us know what it feels like to be in a job where you feel like you don't belong, or to be in a room where you really don't want to be. Like, there's so many people and so many experiences that you can learn from. And that's what we're going to do here. I want to make it a live podcast. And really the reason is because I believe in real time we learn better. So as you meet new people, in fact, I'm looking at bringing in somebody next Wednesday. And if this is a decent time, I'm trying to find a time where people are kind of like chilling and have time, and they're not at work, and they're kind of cooling down, so that we can actually talk, and y'all can in real time have conversations with people that you probably wouldn't otherwise meet, and experiences you probably wouldn't otherwise either care about or even know existed, you know. But it applies. I promise you, I will not bring up anybody whose experiences does not apply to what we're building here. That's a promise. So yeah, next week I'm bringing in my first guest. If this time works, please let me know. If there's a better time that works for you, let me know. Like, I don't need to know your whole schedule. I just need to know a time that works for you. And if there's some guests, if there's some experiences, if there's some things that you're trying to learn about and work through, that I can find somebody who understands it better. Or maybe I got some experience in it and I can share it with you. Let me know. And we're not going to be perfect. I'm going to make mistakes. I'm going to do things wrong. I'm going to say the wrong things. I'm going to step on some toes. My bad. I'll say it now. Charge it to my head, not my heart. I love you. I want you to be successful. And I'm on this journey of life with you. So this is to help us find out what really matters. So yeah, I see I got family in the room. I see I got some more people locked in. What do y'all think? What do y'all think? If y'all think that if y'all think the podcast is happening, it's going to happen. So if y'all have some ideas to improve it, if y'all have some things that y'all would like to see, let me know. Let me know. So let's see. First, let me look at the comments. Only thing they have in Whopper, but better than Mickey D's for sure. That's all they need. All they need is the Whopper. If they got rid of the Whopper, they can get rid of the bacon. I'm not a bacon fan at all. I like turkey bacon. And not that what is it, Butterball? Not the Butterball. I don't like the Butterball. Let's see. I just want to run and walk long distances and do activities without feeling like I could barely make it. Start small. Run a half a mile. And then push it a little bit further. I hate running on treadmills. Like, running on treadmills is probably my least favorite, like, physical activity, hands down. Running on a treadmill to me is so pointless. Like, I can't say pointless because you're getting fit and you're moving, but you're not going anywhere. You're running in the same place over and over again. Now, ultimately, if the only thing you have to use in order to get fit because of your space is the treadmill, by all means, I'd use it and I've used it. But I'm not a treadmill type person. So start outside, run to a store and then run back home. Walk to a further store and then walk back home. Um, but yeah, find those points. So go find a park where you can go out and just walk and enjoy yourself. Take a bag that got a little bit of weight on it and walk with the bag. Like I do rucks. I put on, 45, 50 pound ruck and I'll go out and start walking. And I'll have my headphones on, listening to my podcast or listening to music, whatever I really want to listen to. Maybe I got a phone call, some people I said I talk to, call them and talk to them while you're doing your ruck or your walk. You'll be amazed at how little things like that like lead to you being better and better and better. You're gonna want to keep doing it. So start small and then keep going. So true, so true. Let them theory. Is that a book? The Let Them Theory. I got to check it out. Let's see. Be patient with yourself for sure, for sure. The time doesn't necessarily work for me. It's about midnight. Oh, that's so right. I completely forgot. North Carolina is a hour behind. Um, you're right. You're right. Thank you for pointing that out too. I started Burn Boot Camp because my journey is different now, and I know I have to do more challenge. So what used to work no longer was working. I no longer could do it solo, but with the support team and the challenge for sure. And I like challenges like that. I have to check that book out. Uh, let me see. I want to find out what book this was. The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. That's the name of the book. The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. Like it showed you. It's really going over just what I said. Like if you care about everything, then you really don't care about nothing. Either one. If you care about everything, you really don't care about nothing. But I'm gonna check that book out too. Let's see. It's a great book. Great book. Great book. Let's see. And it's really direct. One thing that I think I'm starting to learn about myself is that I learn better from direct teaching. Don't try to philosophy me to death, because God, if you try to I'm gonna interpret it a million different ways. I'm gonna ask people about it, and they're gonna interpret it a million different ways. If you try to theorize and theological, and you try to get to me in those ways, I'll try to stick around, but I normally get lost. And so I learned better from direct teaching. This book is very direct, extremely direct. And it made it easy to actually consume the information and the content. So this is what I try to do with the podcast here. I try to be as direct and straightforward as possible. So yeah, about to order now. Too easy. Also, I gotta hopefully we can bring you up, Sierra, because I really, really, really want to talk about the products that you put out in the book. Affirmation for Black boys, like, is something that I wish as a child I had in my life. And I could imagine that you watched your boys and was like, this is something that they should have in their life. And is which is why you created it. You know what I mean? I love to hear about that story. I loved it to go over it. And I think there's more Black kids that need to hear about that. Um, and Black parents, because we're the ones where it began with. If we don't showcase that it's okay to read, if we don't showcase the literacy rate in America is plummeting, and that's something that people should care about. That matters. Um, and so it starts with us. And so for like now, when your boys can look at their mom and say, she created this with us in mind, that teaches them lessons that no book really could ever teach, you know. And it speaks volumes about your character. So absolutely, I'd love to have you on at some point. I'll reach out to you and see if we can make it happen. But yeah. So with the time, I'll start looking at the time and figuring it out. Consistency is my goal. So absolutely, absolutely. Um, but I'm at 36 minutes. I think around this time, especially this late, yeah, it's 12 o'clock back in North Carolina. So yeah, I'm gonna call it a night, man. I appreciate y'all for jumping in. Look, if you're somebody who was in on the live, I love you. I wish you nothing but the best. And I pray for your success. If you're somebody that's coming across it later, I love you too. Thank you for checking us out. And I hope to bring you better and better content that improves our lives. That's it for tonight. And thank you. Peace.